All right, I know this video is a little late. I had a bit of a crisis that I had to deal with Monday morning, but we here. And look, I brought the couch back. What is up, everybody? My name is Advance, and this is Advanced Sports Talk. All right, another NFL season is upon us. All right, we're going to break down the 2025 season openers across the league. Oh, man, and starting off with Philly versus Dallas. And I got to say, the shenanigans that happened in this game was... Oh, man, look, first of all, before the game even started, Philly's fullback gets injured on the kick return. And while the teams are huddling up, they was like, the Cowboys already reeling from the loss of Micah Parsons. They traded him a week before the season started. And I don't know. I think there's still more to that story, but I will uncover that as the weeks go on, if it ever comes out. But yeah, so Dak was like, "Oh, we short our star edge rusher." Hold on, I'll be right back. Dak walks out of the huddle and spits towards the Philly team on the ground. Like how they do in mafia movies when they trying to show disrespect. Yeah. So of course, Jalen Carter, the Eagles' star defensive tackle, decides to retaliate by spitting on Dak Prescott. Not only retaliating, not only spitting in a post-COVID landscape, but he did it right in front of the referee. Like, bro, what did you think was gonna happen? So, in any case, I'm about to say Hassan Reddick. Jalen Carter got ejected from the game before the ball was even snapped. So already it's like, oh man, yeah. So of course that led to Javonte Williams having a good game, and yeah, he had 15 carries, for 54 yards, but 2 rushing touchdowns. And yeah, so of course, first rushing touchdown that led to Jalen Hurts responding with a touchdown run of his own. And then Javonte Williams went and ran for another touchdown. So Jalen Hurts ran for another. So them two was going back and forth. Then Saquon got a touchdown. And at that point, that's when the game started to become out of reach for Dallas, because Dallas couldn't get anything going offensively. It seemed like the Eagles had stalled offensively as well. But yeah, because nobody scored. Matter of fact, they only kicked a field goal in the third quarter. But yeah, doesn't matter if they only kicked the field goal. Fact of the matter is that Dallas didn't score any points. So yeah. Eagles won that game 24-20. Now, next, we got the Kansas City Chiefs versus the LA Chargers. And yeah, I think what is this? Justin Herbert finally got one over on them. I think that they said this is the first time that they beat them in the regular season. I might be wrong. I might be wrong on that. But nevertheless, the Chargers stunned the Chiefs 27-21, and yeah, this was a bit of a slugfest too. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes was 24-39 for 258 yards, 1 touchdown. Justin Herbert 25-34. That's a pretty good average. What is that? 318 yards and 3 rushing touchdowns. I said 3 rushing. He threw 3 touchdowns. Patrick Mahomes threw 1 touchdown. I keep saying rushing. In any case, yeah, Quentin Johnson which will probably be the only game that he shows up this year. That's how Charger receivers usually work. But speaking of Charger receivers, guess who came back home? And I found this out when I was doing a fantasy draft. They got Keenan Allen back. I said, "Oh shit, he's back with the Chargers." Okay, well, hey, let me go on and pick him up. Yeah, 7 receptions for 68 yards and 1 touchdown, like he never left. Oh man, yeah. So we're gonna look for some more production going forward with him. All right, now Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Atlanta Falcons. Yeah, that was a pretty interesting game, but we're gonna talk about that on Buck Dynasty. Buccaneers get over the Falcons 23-20. Not the prettiest game, but a win is a win, and it's week 1, so you got to throw out week 1. Now, if we start doing this week 2, week 3, week 4, all right, then I'm gonna be concerned because now we look like the 2021 Steelers. All right, but in any case, moving forward, no, that's the 8:00 game. We're gonna try to stay in order. another interesting game to watch. Pittsburgh Steelers versus the New York Jets. The Pittsburgh Steelers with Aaron Rodgers versus the New York Jets with Justin Fields. So yeah, I don't know. They was I don't know who booked this first week, but they booked a lot of grudge matches. Cause the Jets was playing Aaron Rodgers hard because, hey, like, he wasted 2 years of their life. And some money too. Yeah, Justin Fields just came from the Steelers. Why they didn't keep him when they got rid of Russell Wilson, I have no idea. Why they didn't start him over Russell Wilson, I guess it might have been a stat issue or an experience issue or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. You know what I always say about Russell Wilson? Half a season, pick which Russell Wilson you want. All right. Now, Miami Dolphins versus the Indianapolis Colts. I was about to say the Colts and Colts. I don't know what the hell I'm thinking. Oh man. Colts beat the Dolphins 33-8. They did not get nothing going. Devon A-Chain the A-Train as I call him. He caught a passing touchdown, and that was pretty much the only highlight of them for them. Jonathan Taylor had 71 yards rushing, no touchdowns. Tyreek Hill 4 receptions for 40 yards. Michael Pittman 6 receptions for 80 yards and 1 touchdown. So yeah. All right. Next, Carolina Panthers versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let's see. Yeah, this game started off slow too. Was it 17? Oh, the Jaguars scored 17 points in one quarter. So 2 touchdowns, a passing touchdown to what was that? To Hunter Long, and a rushing touchdown to Brian Thomas. Jags won 26-10. New York Giants versus the Washington Commanders. Should I review this? Commanders won 21-6. We're gonna talk about the Commanders, I guess. For whatever reason, San Francisco had it in their infinite wisdom to let Deebo Samuel go. And by letting Deebo Samuel go, he ended up with Washington. So, yeah. Let's see, Zach Ertz continuing to be Zach Ertz. Yeah. And yeah, that's that. I know New York was also the landing place for Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. Yeah, it's still too early to tell about either of them. But at this point, I think Jameis is just happy just being Jameis. He's doing his thing in the locker room. So, all right, next, the Arizona Cardinals versus the New Orleans Saints, and Cardinals beat the Saints 20-13. Let's see, Alvin Kamara, Marvin Harrison, touchdown. James Conner. It looks like this was a Cardinals. Cardinals had a very loose domination over the game. So, yeah. So we'll see what Kyler Murray looks like going forward, and we'll see what Spencer Rattler looks like going forward. He had 27 for 46 for 214 yards, but we're gonna gauge that from week to week. See what happens. Cincinnati Bengals versus the Cleveland Browns. I couldn't tell if this was a case of good defense or just bad offense. Well, no, hold on, because Joe Flacco had 31 for 45 for 290 yards. One touchdown, but threw 2 interceptions. From my understanding, they weren't his fault. The receivers batted the ball up in the air. So, let's see. I'm not used to Joe Burrow's numbers being this low, so I think it could have been just a case of good defense. Cincinnati does have a defense, so and I know Cleveland got a pass rush. The Las Vegas Raiders versus the New England Patriots, and they were saying that this was weird because it was Pete Carroll versus Mike Vrabel. You know, Pete Carroll used to coach the Patriots back in the day, and I think Mike Vrabel used to coach the Raiders, and now they're on opposite teams. So, oh man, the Raiders beat the Patriots 20-3. I mean, and that's also where Geno Smith landed. 362 yards passing, and Drake May 287 yards passing. 1 touchdown apiece, 1 interception apiece. Okay. Next, San Francisco 49ers versus the Seattle Seahawks. San Francisco got over them 17-13. George Kittle got hurt early in the game, so yeah, he ended up having to sit out. Brock Purdy still did pretty good though, 26 for 35 for 277 yards, 2 touchdowns, but also 2 interceptions. Yeah, Sam Darnold. That was a heartbreaker because I did watch this game. It was it looked like that they was actually going to come back, and they was going to win. They had a chance to win, but the offensive tackle got blocked into Sam Darnold as he was winding up to throw, and he knocked the ball out of his hand. And yeah, the San Francisco recovered it, and that was the end of the game. Like that, oh man, like that was such a heartbreaker, yo. But we're gonna see how these new teams for these new players are going forward. Let's see, where was I at? Tennessee Titans versus the Denver Broncos. Broncos won 20-12. Is there anything to write home in this one about? No. I mean, J.K. Dobbins and Tony Pollard. Let's see. We had Calvin Ridley was there. Cortland Sutton, 6 receptions, 61 yards. So they had playmakers. They just didn't. The quarterbacks just didn't do well. Broncos won 20-12. Next, Detroit Lions versus the Green Bay Packers. And yeah, this was rough. This was rough for the Lions. Yeah, and we talked about earlier, Micah Parsons. And Micah Parsons showed up in this game. And he did his job. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. Now, hold on, let me double check. Now he had 1 sack. 1 sack. That was it. But the rest of the game, he was getting double teamed. He was getting stunted. He was getting he was getting schemed. It was a whole. They was doing everything to try to keep this man out of the backfield. And you know what I always say? Just because they don't say your name, don't mean you're not doing your job. Because every time they doubled up on Micah Parsons, they made a lane open for somebody else to get through. So, yeah, man, just having that one addition is what's going to make Green Bay a contender this year. Next, Houston Texans versus the LA Rams. Man. CJ Stroud looked like he took a step back. We're going to see how he bounces back going forward. Matt Stafford was 21 for 29 for 245 yards. That's pretty good rating. I mean, CJ Stroud had 19 for 27 for 188, but he didn't throw any touchdowns. So, yeah, and this was a very low scoring game too. So not 14 to 9 LA's way. So we're gonna see how that defense, how both teams' defense are going forward. All right, now Sunday night game: Baltimore Ravens versus the Buffalo Bills. Come on, Baltimore. Come on, dog. Oh, man. So, right off the gate, like, the Ravens dominated 3 out of 4 quarters of this game. But you know what they always say? You gotta play 4 quarters. And you gotta play until the clock reaches 0. Man, everybody was talking about this game. And I will be no different. Man, like, Derrick Henry was going off. Lamar Jackson was going off. Zay Flowers was going off. DeAndre Hopkins was going. Yeah, because the Ravens got DeAndre Hopkins. It was a perfect recipe for a Ravens win, and all they had to do was just not let up. And in the fourth quarter, really what it came down to was getting 1 first down. If they converted 1 time, that's it. The game is over. Now, I understand people would say, all right, well, defense got to make a stop. Yeah, but it's a cohesion. It's a cohesion that has to take place on both parts. So the offense got to get a defense time to rest and can't put them back out on the field repeatedly, especially in the fourth quarter. So, but nevertheless, Ravens put 40 points up on the Bills, and if it was any other team, maybe excluding who am I thinking? Kansas City or Philadelphia or the Bucks. They might have won, but yeah, Buffalo has proven time and again that they can hang those big numbers up too. So yeah, they squeaked it out. Now, hopefully, we're gonna see how the Ravens bounce back on week 2. And Minnesota versus the Chicago Bears. Yeah, Minnesota won 27-24. It started off as a very defensive game. Chicago was creeping up. They weren't really going crazy, but both defenses was kind of getting at it. But I can tell that the Chicago defense just got tired in the end because Minnesota just scored 21 points, 21 straight points. And and while Chicago tried to come back, they inevitably ran out of time. So, yeah, Justin Jefferson, Aaron Jones, and J.J. McCarthy all touchdowns back to back to back. So, yeah. All right, Vikings got over the Bears 27-24. So it was a very exciting week one. It was also a very unpredictable week one. And another thing that I forgot to mention in any of the other games, because it was so common. Kickers missing field goals. Now they said that they shortened they shortened the width of the field goal. So now it's like the kicks that people would normally be making, they're missing. But yeah, because Chase McLaughlin missed a couple, Younghoe Koo missed a couple, or missed one rather. Kickers was missing kicks all over the league on Sunday. So yeah, it's I guess that's just something that you got to throw out. But we're gonna see what happens going forward. But in any case, my name's Advance. That's my breakdown. If you're a football fan, put your comments in the comment section down below. You should be dropping a like and a follow. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe on everything. I'm out.